Hello and welcome to Willow Yoga, Minnesota. We begin by making our way onto our mats. You can find a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you, and we will bring our hands to prayer at our hearts, Anjali Mudra. The chin drops. We settle in those sitting bones and we lift in the sides of our bodies. Inhale those shoulders up by your ears. Let's hold. How often we go through the day like this. And now roll those shoulders down your back. Inhale, bring those shoulders up. Exhale, down your back. Reverse that, bringing the shoulders up and forward and up and forward. One more time, up and to the back. Those shoulder blades going down our backs. We press our thumbs into our hearts and drop our chins. In this practice, we are going to live into 3 verbs: rise, stay, and melt. When we get then to our standing practices in particular, in standing poses, we will use those verbs as this way of creating flow. But for now, pull that breath deep into your belly. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. And exhale. Bring your legs straight out in front of you. That bum flesh can get moved out of the way. And now bring your fingertips to your shoulders and try and keep your knees and legs nice and straight. And we lift that upper body. Inhale, bring those elbows back. And exhale, bring your elbows close to touch or touch. Inhale, open wide. And exhale. If your knees are really cramping, you can bend, or legs, you can bend those knees. Inhale, open wide. And exhale, we tap. We inhale, open up and back, and exhale, tap. Now, draw nice big circles. Like I said, if those legs are cramping up, go ahead and bend those knees. But if you can, try and keep those legs straight because we're actually working our stabilizing muscles in the legs and in the core, going back and forth. One breath, and exhale, shake it out. So from here, bring your palms together, straight out in front of you. Inhale, pull those palms back towards your heart, and exhale forward. Inhale, lift those palms up, and exhale, down we come. Inhale, pulling back, and exhale, extending forward. Inhale, we rise, and exhale. Inhale, one more time, pulling back. We exhale, inhale, lift, and exhale. Release everything. You can even pound a little bit on those thighs just to wake them up and get them loose. So from here, inhale, pull your right heel back along the mat. You can bring your hands to the floor, and exhale, press it forward. Inhale, pulling that left knee back. And exhale, pressing it forward. Sit up tall. Inhale, we pull back. Exhale, extend. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale, sitting up tall. Inhale and exhale. All right. Bring the soles of your feet together, flap those legs to wake everything up and kind of release into those hips. And from here, bring the soles of your feet together. Your knees can be about hip width apart and extend your arms. Now inhale, pull your right arm back, and exhale, extend it forward. Inhale, left arm back, and exhale. Inhale, pulling back. Exhale, inhale. You can even look to the back. And move back and forth at your own pace. Now we really are working those stabilizing muscles. We're also getting into our core. One more time each side. And bring the soles of those feet together and flap those legs. From here, let's come to standing. Okay, so as we're thinking about these practices, we're going to rise with our energy, stay, and then dissolve or melt. So those feet come hip width apart, bring your hands to your hips, take a big step back, coming into high lunge. We bend that left knee, and now our hearts rise. And from here, we're gonna lift those arms, and now stay. Dwell. Sit a little lower into this posture. Inhale. Exhale, wiggle those fingers. Feel them so that there's energy going from the soles of your feet all the way up to those fingertips. I know it might feel weird, but we're trying to get energy and get our awareness into our entire body. Now those hands come around toward our hips, and we're going to dissolve and simply step forward. Notice I almost just fell over, but we step on forward and walk it out. Okay, left foot steps back, and we build our posture. We have that foundation, and we rise on up, and now stay. Start to move those fingers, or you could move your wrists. Our wrists take a lot of work in our days when we're on the computer and all of that sort of stuff. So anything we can do to add mobility is beautiful. Those hands come down. Now we're dissolving the pose. So we're simply flowing out of it. Walk out those feet. Plant those feet. And we're going to ground in that left foot and lift our right knee. Your hands can stay at your hips, or grab that knee and pull up and in. So we're rising through the crown of the head, and now we're staying in this beautiful shape with full energy and breath. One more inhale, and let this pose dissolve. Shoulder rolls backwards and forwards. We plant that right foot. That left leg rises. Stay there. You can have your hands at your hips or grab that shin, pulling up and in. That lift, that rise. And now we stay. Keeping the eyes steady, rising in the crown of the head, staying with our deep breath. And now we simply dissolve and walk it out. Separate those feet hip width. And now the energy is coming up our legs, but we're going to pour over our legs and grab our elbows. Sway side to side. The energy is rising up the legs, but we're staying in this shape. You can always come to center and hold. And now abide. Dwell. Let that fullness of breath arrive. Inhale. And we dissolve all of our tension. And from here, hands come to our hips. We'll bend those knees, rising all the way up and walking out. The feet turn out. They're a little wider than hip width. Heels turn in. Bring the palms on the insides of your legs. Inhale, left shoulder drops. And exhale, we lift. Inhale, right shoulder drops. And we rise. Left shoulder down and lift. Right shoulder. Left and rise. And right and rise. Press into those legs, rising as we melt up and out of that posture and walk it out. Now, if you can go to a wall. So finding a wall, and bring your right shoulder toward the wall and bring your right hand back behind you. Now, you might just stay like this, a little bit away from the wall, opening up in that shoulder. Or you might start to walk toward the wall, getting more of a stretch in that right shoulder area and right chest. You can look towards your left shoulder. Now we are rooted down, rising and dwelling in our breath. Inhale and exhale. Try and keep that left shoulder moving up and back. One more breath. Now look toward the right and we dissolve. Come back to your mat and step. Close your eyes. Feel the right shoulder. One breath. Exhale, open those eyes, and let's go to the other side. We turn so our left shoulder is toward the wall. You can bring your hand, whoops, don't hit your things on the wall. Bring your hand to the wall. You can just look straight ahead and stay away from the wall, or begin to walk closer to the wall. Find your breath, your posture. You can always look to the right. Notice if that right shoulder is curling in, opening it up and back. Ground equally in those feet. And look to the left, dissolving the posture, and move those shoulders up and back. Now, from here, bring your hands to the wall, and you walk yourself back, and your hands are kind of like right at your center, and you're gonna walk yourself back and then drop your heart and your head between those arms. You'll find your posture that works. You can bring your hands lower if that feels better to you. We're grounded in those feet. We're rising in those legs. We're dwelling in this shape. One more deep, beautiful breath. Dissolve those knees so they soften. We walk forward. Bring your hands to your hips and rise all the way up. We'll plant those feet and ground. Now rise in that left leg and step it like you're stepping over a gate and tap down. Inhale, leg comes from the back now to the front and move. So here, think about we're dwelling in this movement. Can we rise? And there's this beautiful lift and dissolve. Lift and dissolve. Breathing in and exhale. Last time to the back. Last time to the front. And walk it out. Try and remember to breathe. I totally didn't. Left foot grounds. Inhale, right leg rises and it dissolves to the back. We're grounded in that left foot, tall in our hearts, opening in those hips. You can always use a chair or that wall if you would like. Stay with your breath. One more time to the back. Trying to stay with this flowing movement and walk it out. Now, left foot will ground, right foot steps back, and we'll ground, rising up, arms float, and come into your triangle, hands to your knee, calf, or that left ankle. And now dwell in this beautiful shape. We feel the feet, how rooted they are. And from there we have our rising energy, and yet we are quiet in body, mind, and spirit. Or if you aren't, that's what we're working toward. One more breath. Exhale, inhale, we rise up, dissolving out of that shape. Step forward, hands to heart center. The right foot grounds, we step on back, arms float on up. Now melt into the shape and breathe. So triangle on the right side. Inhale. Exhale. And we'll rise to dissolve out of this posture, stepping forward, hands to heart center. The left foot will ground, hands to our hips, and we lift that right knee. We're coming into tree. Just keep that right foot away from the knee. Otherwise, it can be above or below. You can use a wall, hands to your heart. We are rooted, we are rising, and now we stay in our tree. Arms lifted. 3, 2, abiding, and now dissolving. Hands back to your heart, and we walk it out. Right foot grounds. We rise with that left knee, and it just floats to its place on our right leg. Or if it doesn't, that's okay too. Notice I'm having to touch the wall, and that right arm lifts. And we breathe. We stay. But by stay, it doesn't mean we get lazy in the posture. We're still rising. We're doing both at the same time. That energy is coming up, and we hold in the biggest shape we can manage with our body. And now we melt back to standing. Left foot will ground. Let's take a big step back with our right foot. Bring your hands to the earth, and you can stay up if you would like, or drop onto that right knee. Climb up on that left leg and press your hands into that left knee. We are rising up and away with the heart, and now we're staying in this shape. If you would like to lift your arms, you can go for that. Sink in that left knee, lift the heart up and away, and we'll bring our hands back to the earth. Lift that back knee. The right hand plants, the left arm lifts. We are rising in the right arm, and we're staying in this full expression. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale, bring that left arm forward, and exhale, bring it to the back. Inhale, circle forward. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, reverse it. So we go to the back. Inhale. Exhale, forward. Inhale, back. Exhale. Inhale, back. Exhale. Now, you can stay here or climb on up. Bring your right arm forward and left arm back. This is a little harder. Can you stay with that sense of rising, dwelling? One more breath. Let's bring our hands to the earth. Step that right foot forward. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, fold. Other side. Inhale, lift. Left foot steps back. We drop that knee. Climb on up. Sink into that right knee. And the heart rises. And we stay. If you would like to lift those arms and see how much expansion you can get. Never going past your comfort level, but certainly getting to your edge. One more breath. We'll bring our hands down to the earth, tuck those back toes, back knee lifts, left hand plants. Inhale, right arm forward and up, and we breathe. So beautiful twisting lunge here. Let's add the movement. Inhale, right arm forward. Exhale to the back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, back and up, and we reverse. We go to the back, and then to the front, to the back, and to the front. One last breath. We rise. Inhale. Now you can climb on up on that right leg if you would like. Arms lift. Left arm forward, right arm to the back. holding for one more breath. We exhale, bring our hands to the mat, step that left foot forward, inhale, extend, and exhale, fold. Arms reach out and up. Exhale, let's cactus those arms. Inhale, arms lift, and exhale, hands to heart center. So from here, let's go ahead and just come on down to the mat. And what we'll do is plant those feet, bring your hands behind you. You can just sit up tall. This might be enough for you. If you can lift in those hips, your chin drops toward your heart, or look up toward the sky. Trying to stay light and lifted. Dwelling in this posture, press both feet down, and exhale, we lower everything down. Bring your left leg to the mat and your right leg in front, if this works for your body. Hands to your knees, inhale. Maybe bring your heart forward, and you might just sit like this. You might be able to walk forward. You might start to sway side to side. Now, these hips get really tight. So if you're up here, that's almost to be expected. We don't get into our hips much. You might be swaying up here. Inhale. But if you can, you could always come down on those forearms, dropping your chin in towards your heart. Stay in this pose. But think of that rising energy still coming through your spine. Last breath. We walk ourselves back up. Right hand comes behind us, left hand to that right knee, and we move that pelvis forward. So we like to sit back like this. Try and lift up. We have that rise, then we turn and we stay. We don't want to push too hard because we want to protect our low back. Breathing. One more inhale. And exhale, come forward. Now, if you can, grab that right leg and move it back and forth. Now, you might just hold your leg like this and flex that foot. You could even circle. You could always bring your right leg into your elbows and your hands into prayer. You walk that right hip forward so the right foot is flexed and your hands are in prayer, and we sit up nice and tall. Hips hold a lot of our tension. So if you're not able to do this, that's not surprising. We're just moving then, because by adding in the movement, that sometimes helps us open up over time. One more breath in, sitting up nice and tall, and we're gonna switch sides. Exhale. The right leg comes to the earth, the left leg comes in front. Inhale, hearts lift. You might just need to sit like this. If you've not gotten into these hips for a long time, that's okay, but we'll just sit nice and tall. But if you can move that heart forward, hands to your mat, moving side to side slowly. And from there, maybe coming forward. Now, my body has very different experiences from one side to the other with this posture. That's normal. We have different habits, ways of standing. We try and meet those imbalances and give them space to recalibrate. One more breath in. Exhale, we sit on up. Right hand to right or left leg, left hand behind us, sitting up in that spine and then looking behind us. Inhale and exhale. Last breath and release. Now lift that left leg. You can just move that little baby all over the place. Getting it open and juicy. Then just hold. Sitting up and holding, this in itself is a posture if you've not worked those hips in a long time. but maybe you can bring your leg in your elbows and your hands to prayer. We walk that left hip forward because that keeps those pelvic bones equal. We sit up tall and we flex that left foot. Whatever you are doing is your posture. You have to make the posture fit your body, not your body fit the posture. So we sit up tall and breathe. Notice if those shoulders are creeping up. Try and keep them down your back. Last breath in. And we'll release. Come onto your backs. The soles of the feet plant. And we press into those feet, lifting our hips. Inhale and exhale. Your palms can stay down. You want to make sure your feet are parallel here. Often the toes are out, but keeping the feet parallel protects the low back. Last breath in. Lower those hips to the mat. Bring your arms into goalposts or cactus. Walk the edges of your feet to the edges of your mat. The knees stay bent. Let your knees drop to the left. You look right. And let that upper body soften and widen. Inhale, the knees come back up. We drop the knees to the other side. Try and look towards your left. So the chin is going toward that left shoulder. See if there's any extra tension in those shoulders and try and soften. And if you're like, I can't, that's okay. Just focus on the breath. And when we breathe more, then the body's like, oh, okay, I can soften. One more inhale. And exhale, we come up with those knees. Bring your hands by your hips so they're protecting your low back. Bring your right leg up, your left leg up, and drop your chin towards your heart. Flex those feet like you're standing on the ceiling. This is beautiful for the low back. Now, if you would like, you can bring those legs down and walk your bum over toward the wall. So you sit with your hip up against the wall and then bring your legs up the wall. And now it's a totally passive stretch. So your palms can turn up and you could stay here for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, as long as you would like. This is what's called an inversion, which means our feet are usually on the ground, but now they are the ones lifted up. So it's just a different use of gravity on our blood and vessels and veins. Now, if you're not using the wall, you can let your legs come back down and take your Shavasana. And that just means that you can have your knees bent and bring those knees together and your palms turn up. Notice how that feels really nice on the low back. Or you could bring your hands by your hips and let your knees open wide. Or you could extend your legs long and turn your palms up. Or you can stay with those feet up at the wall. And a lot of people think, okay, I'm done. But this is the practice, or the pose in the practice that lets us soak it all up. So our bodies are thirsty. And this Shavasana, it's called, is our big old drink of water. This is what's getting our juices into our hips, our shoulders. So stay. Hold. Delight. Inhale. And exhale. I invite you to stay in your resting pose, your Shavasana, for as long as you have. Give yourself a treat. But this is where I'll end my practice with you today. Thanks for joining me on your mat, and live light.